Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Diana and I'm the owner of From My Scrap Room on Etsy. Today I'm going to be playing with some of the collage paper from Tim Holtz. This is the original, some of the original ones that are still in rolls that he released. He now has them so they're already pre-cut and they lay flat, which is probably better for storage. But these are 4 different types that I have that I want to use. I just recently used the entomology paper in a tag that I did a couple this week. I'm trying to work on a tag a day to post and share, and I use this and I remembered how much I like it. So I have had some ideas that I was going to play with this today. I have out an old chipboard bingo, vintage bingo card, an old flashcard that's also a vintage find. I have some white, this is almost like a canvas, not canvas, what do they call that? Cloth textured paper that I found in a box. I'm using all kinds of stuff. This is some tea dyed paper that I have, so some of it's darker on the other side, and this is a little heavier than just standard printer paper. I like it a little heavier, so when I make my labels and my stamp snippets, it has a little bit of weight to it, but not too heavy. So it's not a cardstock. I'll double check the poundage, the weight for you, but it's a premium copy paper, so it's a little bit heavier. And what my idea is, and we'll see how this goes, is I'm going to cover some of these pages with the tissue, with the collage paper. It's like a tissue. It's very thin, and it feels like tissue paper that you would wrap a gift in. This one got stuck, so I have a little error there, but it will still work. I'm going to stick it down on the paper and then afterwards decide how I'm going to cut them out, because I'm not going to leave it as a full sheet. I'm planning to either stamp on top of it and cut them out to create some labels or different embellishment pieces, or even cut them down to card size. This is the section I used the other day, right here, to create this tag. There's so much on it now, it's hard to see what the background was, but it is the collage paper, and I stuck it down onto a tag and added some ink. So these items will help me build these items. So it's almost as though it's a compartmental type crafting, since I have the tissue, or I keep calling it tissue, it's not called tissue paper, it's called collage paper. Since I have it out and I'm going to use my collage medium, I'm just going to collage a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to use these. I'm going to use this one. I believe, oh, this one is still brand new. I haven't even used it yet. See, I also have this one, which is the photographic. And this one has small photos on it. And these are fun that you can cut them out. Tim Holtz has a very, very good YouTube channel and blog, and he shows a lot of these things when they were brand new and different ways to use them, different techniques. So I'm going to show you what I know. There might be things that you know that are different. So the best thing you could say is just to give it a go and give it a try. These will take a little bit longer to dry, so I'm going to start sticking them down and then come back when they are more dry to work on more things. So I'm going to get started. You can speed through this if you want. I'm still trying to learn techniques about filming. I use iMovie to edit, and there are sounds in there. Some people like the music, some people don't. But I also just recently got a copyright on one of my videos, and I don't really know why. Since I use the iMovie music, I thought it was part of it. I could be wrong. Again, learning curve, I guess. So I'm going to, what did I just do with it? Oh, it's right in front of me. I'm going to get started with this. I'm going to cut a couple of these down and start sticking them on. You could adhere them as one big huge piece, or you can do like a collage and do them in different ways. I'm going to cut that there because it is ripped. And it might be a little bit easier to cut them down to smaller sizes to work with. The Collage Medium will help this paper. It's almost as though it's a weird, but it's almost as though it melts right into the paper. But I'll let you guys watch and see. I'm going to put not a super thick coat, but a decent amount. And I'm going to let it hang off a little. I do have a little tool. Somebody made this for me. I received it from a crop, an event that I went to. It's plastic and it has felt, so it helps to rub it down. I believe Tim has a scraper, which works as well, but I use what I have. So I'm also adding a little more Collage Medium to the top, on top of the collage paper. So I'm trying to be even so that it doesn't get clumpy or bumpy, I guess. Paper will get a little bumpy because water, once it gets wet, the moisture does make your paper bumpy. So if you're looking for something super smooth like fondant frosting, I'm not sure if you'll find that here. But again, the only way you're going to know is if you give it a try. Make sure I get underneath here. Stick that down. I'm going to get another piece. A little bit smaller to add. And I also, I don't know about you guys, Paper Crafter Forever, cannot cut in a straight line with a pair of scissors for anything. My wrapping paper is always like that. But this, look, it fits. Yay. Okay. I didn't get enough under here. So as you can see, with it wet, it does get a little flimsy. But once it dries, it's not going to firm up. It's not going to get hard like what's that? Paper mache. It doesn't get hard like that. It'd still be pliable. But the texture, I don't know, something about the texture. It's just yummy to play with. So here we go. The first one. And I'm just going to set this to the side to let it dry and come back to it. When I come back to it, if I notice that it needs more adhesive, I could do that then. Trim it off, but there we go. So you can see the moisture from the Collage Medium has made this flimsy. Okay, it's very soft. You could heat set it. Excuse me, that's what I did with my tags because I was trying to do a tag in 20 minutes or less. So I did heat set it. This one will take a while because I covered the whole thing. So I'm just going to move it off to the side and go with another one. I'm going to switch it up and use try and use all the pieces today. This one's already open. Try this. My dogs are desperate to come in today, so if you hear them whining, that's why. We are in between storms here, so I've had lots of wind, which my one little dog does not like the wind, and lots of rain, and my other dog just wants to be outside. And when it is raining, he just stands there. It's a German Shepherd Husky mix. So he just stands there and stares up at the sky like he's trying to figure out what is falling from the sky. And he just soaks up all the water that's coming down. It's like a sponge. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to try to keep the patterns the same direction, I should say. So when I cut them out, it's a little bit easier. Lay the extra off the side because I will use it again. Oh my gosh. They're like, please let me in. Mom, please let me in. Ooh, that was a lot. So see, this one actually wrinkled a little bit, but I'm okay with it. It's also a little bit crooked, but again, I'm okay with it. Okay, oh, sticking to my fingers. This is pretty sticky. So I mentioned in my room tour video that I do have the black glass mat from Tim Holtz, which is lovely. I do like it. But when I'm filming, I get a really, really bad glare from the way my lights are positioned in my room. So I use a craft sheet over my glass mat. One of the benefits of the glass mat is when you're doing stuff like this and you get glue, you can scrape it off with a razor blade, or you can use isopropyl alcohol to take the glue off. But since I use the craft sheet, I just kind of pick it off, or with a credit card or an old gift card scraper, I'll scrape it off. But it helps to protect your surface. So here's another one. I do have an idea with these. I think I might cut out the images and use them, but we'll see. So here's another one, kind of flimsy because it is wet. I'm going to move it to the side. I am going to let in my dogs. Hopefully the nail clicking doesn't bother you. It's either that or he just cries for an hour. Okay, shh. Goodness. I gotta see what you're doing. Okay, I'm going to use this leftover piece on this card. And I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'm just going to use a little piece of it. I like this. Well, that says flies, so that really doesn't match. Maybe I'll stick it on the bingo card. Shh. But I do want to just isolate this. One of the techniques that Tim showed with his collage paper is that you could use a water brush. This is not super wet, and I don't know if you can even see how much water comes off of it. But if you go around the image and get it a little bit wet, it's supposed to be able to tear easily. I, to be honest, haven't tried it until now. So I'm going to wet that and see how well it tears. It's supposed to be able to just, oh yeah, look, nice and easy. So get it wet, and then it tears the tissue without shredding it. So here we go. I'm going to take some of this one off. You see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see me. I'm in the frame here. Okay. Add some more water. It softens the fibers and it tears it up. I want the words. And it will tear. Ooh, I love it. Okay, this is going on here. So I'm going to add some Collage Medium. Lay this down. A little bit more over the top. And you can see I'm going to give the card a full coat just so it has the same texture, or the same gloss, I guess, because it does dry slightly glossy. It does say matte finish, but you can see what that one looks like. I'm actually going to dry this because I want to maybe work on a couple more things on it. So I will give it a blast of air. See how this looks. See that? So you can still see underneath. You can still see the designs underneath and the decoration. And then you can add your images on top. So I do like that. See if I can add anything else to it. Not yet, not from this piece. So I'm going to keep this one off to the side. See if I can add to that. This is what came off of the little piece at the end. I am going to keep that as well. Okay, that one was fun. Now let me see if I can get this open without too much hassle. There we go. Okay. Okay. So this is how they would come. Like I said, he changed the packaging and the design. So now they're not in rolls anymore, but I'm sure you can still find these. I think different people still sell them this way. I am not affiliated with any stores or shops or anything like that. I have my own Etsy shop that I sell handmade things, but not retail stuff. So I'm sure you can find these somewhere. Simon Says Stamp usually has a lot of Tim Holtz items, which I like their variety. My local shop it's all about the scrapbook in Northern California, and they carry a lot of Tim Holtz as well and have items on their website to order. So they, I think, still have some of these. I did get this last one from Joann's when my local Joann's closed before they had their nationwide closure. So you can still find them. This is the typography or typeset. Ooh, I like it. All right, let's use this one. I see in my future labels with these. I'm going to stick it down on some tea-dyed paper and stamp label frames over some of these and cut them out. that is my plan for this one. So let's cut a couple of these pieces out and do this on repeat. I go this way and have almost 2 even pieces, perhaps. I know I have read that there are people that that have taken their round, excuse me, not round, taken the roll and lay it out, and they cut their own strips, or they cut it into strips for sizes that work for them. Again, it's all up to you. It depends on what you like and what you do. I'm going to keep mine in a roll for now. I think I might have already said that, but here we go. One more thing about the roll. It's 6 yards, 5.49 meters. So in feet, 3 feet to a yard. So 18 feet of collage paper. I believe it is 6 inches long. Yes, it's just about 6 inches long, just shy. Looks like 5 5/8. Oops. So you do get a lot. You do get a lot. So if you have it and it's looking cute in a little roll, get it out and start using it. It makes great backgrounds, nice and quick. You could do some of this effect with stamps to create your own background. It would take a lot longer. Might dry faster, but changing stamps, that kind of thing. But with this, you also have the incomplete patterns, which sometimes helps a pattern look a little more interesting. So more collage medium. I didn't get very much on the top. I know some people prefer matte medium. There's a different designer that does a matte medium. I believe it's still Ranger, Claudine Helmuth or Diane Reevely might do a collage medium. Some people like to use Mod Podge. I haven't used Mod Podge with this, so I can't advise it either way. I don't know if it dries the same or if it's thicker. I do use Mod Podge occasionally, but once I started using this, I do like it a little better. It also, Collage Medium also comes in a squirt bottle, or not a squirt bottle. Well, yeah, kind of. A bottle with a squeeze tip. A squeeze bottle. Goodness. My words are falling apart today. Okay. Which I have that as well, and I can show you what that looks like. This is the Collage Medium with an applicator tip, which is nice for adding embellishments, things down. I use that as well as my art glitter glue. It works well with fabric. Ooh, fabric. I just had an idea, guys. This will stick. I have muslin fabric, little canvas. Well, not really canvas, it's like cotton. We can adhere this to as well. Okay, there's another one. I love this. I might have to do another one of these sheets This would look great in a junk journal as a page. If you create junk journals, once this is dry, just fold it up and that's your page, and that add that to your book, and then you can create on top. So you already have a base and you're not creating something and layering it. You're just working on this. So that's another way to use these as pages. Okay. There's one more to use. This one back. And that is this butterfly. This one is colored. So it has some beautiful colors on it with the birds. Basically stamped and ready and inked up and ready to go. This one is gorgeous. I'm going to have to buy another one of these. I see a card right there. Even right here. Very pretty. Okay. I actually think I might put this on a piece of fabric. Let me get that out and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have some non-bleached muslin. This is another find from Joann's. They're closing out of business. I just bought a few yards of it. I've used this for book covers. I've used it for rub-ons. I've used it in strips to tie it at the top of tags. What else have I done with this? I love it. Oh, I created snippet fabric and paper snippet strips with this also. Okay, so snippet rolls, snippet strips. This is an inch wide fabric, and I just took the scraps that were sitting out and glued them down with some lace and then ran it through the sewing machine. So it's about this one is no longer a yard, but that's how I had them in my shop. These are fun. You can use them on the top of tags. You can use them with titles. Anyway, that's what I've used the muslin for. So I have a stash of this. But we are going to add this collage paper onto here. I'm going to glue it on. And I believe I can use the Collage Medium to stick it on. So I'm going to actually shift it over a little so that I get all of that. All right, let's try it. Okay, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. All right, Collage Medium. This Collage Medium does go through the fabric. So it is going to make this fabric stick to my craft sheet, but that's okay. Just pull it off when I'm ready. Also, good way to just strengthen up your fabric is to add a little Collage Medium on it. So I'm going to stick this down, see if I have enough. Oh, yes. Okay. Looks like I'm going to need another one of these pretty soon. All right. All right. I'm going to go over the top as well. No, don't bend it. Be careful. This is very fragile. So I think I might have added too much without laying it down. Ooh. Easy. I have also seen this technique done with napkins, where people have added or like decoupage, a napkin to canvas or paper. And then as it dries, it gives you a different way to use your material and your items. So I'm going to add a coat to the top. Okay. One thing I will say is if you are going to sew this, you need to make sure that your glue is completely dry, or it will gum up your needle on your sewing machine. So this is, yeah, kind of stuck. So I'm going to cut this here. Cut that off. Peel this up. Ooh. See that? Ooh, I love it. I do love that. I think it needs a little bit more adhesive though, right up at the top. It's lifting up a little. Oh, nails here. Shh. Here we go. All right. That is yummy. Shh. Sorry, you guys. All right. This one is very wet, so this will definitely take a while to dry. I might see how it goes with this. See what it starts to do. Yeah, it's not as sticky, but I think this will take a lot longer, so I'm gonna just let this dry mostly on its own. You need to find somewhere to put it. There we go. That's gorgeous on fabric. All right, I do keep baby wipes on my desk, right in my closet. My hands right now are super sticky, so I'm going to clean them off a little bit. And scrape off the glue. Yep, see, you can see that there is a residue on there. But this comes right off. I like to clean it when it's still wet. And it'll help keep your mat clean. Toss that right there for now. Okay. And my towel to dry. Okay, so those are a couple pieces. I am going to do this one as well. maybe use the birds on there. Birds are gorgeous. I'm going to cut this one and use the pieces. So my hands are still sticky, but I will get that worked out. I think I like it on that side. And I might just use this technique again and go around this bird. Okay. Yes. And cut this one. My shaky hands. Okay. And then I'm going to use this one on this side. Alrighty. So add a layer to here. It's going to go on here. All right, another thing when you're using Collage Medium, you don't really want it to dry on your brush. It will make it very, very firm. It's glue. You don't want to glue up your brush. So if you can't get to the sink right away, or if you start doing it and you realize you forgot your water, if you have baby wipes, I just wrap it in this until I'm done. And it stays moist enough so that I can wash it when I'm finished. So I do want to work on this one real quick. So I am going to blast it with some heat. My hands are still really sticky, so let's clean them off one more time. Okay. All right. So still a little tacky. So it's not completely dry. Stick that down. Cover that up. One more time. Okay. So now that this is dry, or mostly dry, this extra, you could go in with scissors and cut it off. I like to use a sanding block. It is a bit more noisy, but I feel that it helps with I don't really know how to explain it. It almost as though it gives it more grip, that it sticks to it. So because I'm using a hard card, this is so thin of paper, it literally just comes off. It will also give you that extra texture if your card has a little bit of coating for ink to grab to. Okay, so you can use this. Some people don't like the sound. Sorry about the sound. But it does give it a clean edge. So see, and it's not really lifting. This little piece is lifting up because I didn't have enough glue there, but the rest of it is pretty much down. Okay, so this is actually a little bit tacky still. I'm going to dry it a little bit more, and then I'm going to add to it and create like a tag, a little element for my journals. I'm going to grab some ink. Let me add a little bit more heat. Okay. I want to add color, but I want to add color in this space. So to be a little bit more specific with where I'm putting my color, I am going to use a piece of plastic that was packaging. So when you buy whatever it is you buy, say like I just bought these, the Tim Holtz packaging, keep the plastic. I know it's one more thing to keep, but I keep it and I use it once or twice and then I get rid of it. But this will help me be able to see where I'm sticking ink. So I'm going to add some color to here. Give it a spritz of water and see how it's more liquid. So now I can decide where I want to add my ink and just touch it down. So I'm not adding a ton because I don't want to get it all over my birds, at least not this color. But I want to add color to other spots. So, and then it kind of lets you see where you're adding color to. Be aware that when you do put this down, it is wet, so it's going to also grab back onto the plastic. It's going to stick to it a little. So if you have something in a spot where you like it, it's best to give it a dry first and then go back and possibly add more if you wanted to add more. Otherwise, it could lift off the ink that you have there already. And see how your ink. This one is still wet, so I could keep drying it, or I'm actually going to let it drip down a little bit and then just dab it off with my wipe. Grab off that couple extra pieces and then dry. And there we go. I'm going to do the same thing with the orange or the dried marigold, and I'm going to use this. I'm just going to wipe it off. So I use these about 2 or 3 times or whatever project I'm working on, then I throw it away. I have enough stuff that I've kept. Give it a dry, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the marigold. Some water. Might blend this one a little bit more so it's not a square, so it doesn't look like a square. And I'm going to do the same thing. Did get the bird that time. Add a couple more pieces on this side. And there we go. Actually, I want some right there. Right there. Okay. See that? And then dry. I do still have a couple wet blob spots. I'm just going to take my cloth and just dab those off. And I'm dabbing and not smearing, because otherwise you're going to have ink that goes across like that. So just dab it off and it's all dry. One more blast of air. There we go. All right, what do you think? I'm going to add, I'm going to distress the edges, and I'm going to use the marigold. I need to find the pad. There it is. My distress pads. If you've seen this, I talked about this in my room tour video, I think, or the video where I am doing distress backgrounds. I've also had people ask about these, which I mentioned them before, but these are 3D printed handles. They're the same concept as the Ranger ink blending tool. So this is an ink blending tool with the Velcro. You can put your foam. Oh, I'm out of foams. So you could use it for the foam. The Velcro just sticks to the back of the foam. So it's the same tool. These sanding discs you can buy, and they have the felt, like a felt on the back. So you can use those on here or these. I tend to get thumb cramp a bit when I hold on to these because of how narrow they are. So my husband printed me some, and it's slightly, not that much, but just enough underneath that I have more. It's just easier to hold for me. So this is the same tool, and the ink blending tools will work with this as well. But mine are white, so that's the only difference. Okay, so I'm gonna get some ink here. I'm just going to ink this to add a little bit more color. There we go, just like that. Okay, so there we go. I took a vintage flashcard. They're like reader cards. Added some of the collage paper. I used the water pen to separate it so that it is an uneven tear, but it also helps it so it tears nicely without ripping. And then added some inks. Okay, so I know I'm going to get people to go, what are you going to use that for? How do you use that? You could use it in a junk journal if you create junk journals. Let me show you I have a journal here. Make sure this is clean. This is a 5.5 by 8.5. So a piece of paper folded in half. But you could use this as a flip. If you flip it over, you can add washi tape or a piece of paper like, let's see if I have one. I just had one. No, I don't. But let's just say, for example, if you had a piece of paper, you could adhere it on here to make your flap. That's what I'm saying. Let's see. It's my blank page. And adhere it to here, right? Stick those down, and then you have a flap. That makes sense? I'm sure there's a name for this. I can't think of what it is. But you could use it like that. So you could add cards in here. You could, depending on the size of your book, you could stick it down and make it, like if you cut it smaller, not this one, but you could make a pocket, or you could just clip it in. If you have a theme doing something with, you could stick it in a pocket, okay, or just use a little clip and clip it in. You could journal on the back. You can add more to the back, more decorations or things like that. So that's what you can do with these. So hopefully that gives you an idea. And gives you an idea and gives you something to play with. So don't be afraid to get out your supplies and just try it. You have to remember it's just paper. If it doesn't turn out the way you want, paint over it, cut it into pieces, tear it up. You can do so many things with it. These are drying better now. So once these are dry, I'll come back and finish up with these and show you. I don't want this video to be too long. But we'll work on this once these dry up. But hopefully you'll get out your paper. If you have the collage paper and you've played with it before, I'd love to see what you've done. I'd love for you to share your Instagram with me in the comments. You can add your Instagram page. If you have a YouTube page, share. I'd love to go check it out. I want to check out other people's things, see what they're doing. I might have something to learn from you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Get out your stuff and craft. Have fun. Have a great day. Bye.